This is the story of how one man stopped a nuclear war. It was the year 1983 and the Cold War was at its peak. America and the Soviet Union were on the brink of nuclear war. The superpowers had more weapons of mass destruction between them than the whole world today. It was only a matter of time before one of them pushed the button. Then one day, an unknown man would change everything. His name was Stanislav Petrov. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Soviet Air Defense Forces. And one day he became famous for stopping a nuclear war. But it's not for the reason you might think. It all started when Petrov was working the night shift in the early hours of September 26, 1983. His job was to monitor Soviet early warning systems for nuclear strikes. It wasn't a very interesting shift. Nothing ever happened. But then suddenly his instruments started flashing red. They were picking up something. Could it be, had the Americans really struck? He looked at the data and realized that according to their systems, 5 missiles had been launched from American submarines. Worst of all, they were heading straight for the Soviet Union. Petrov knew this could only mean one thing. In a few minutes, the whole world would end. As the alarms blared, Petrov raced against the clock. He needed to contact the duty officers and warn them. But as he picked up the phone, he hesitated. Was this really an attack? The thought crossed his mind that this could be a false alarm. But if it was, then he'd be in big trouble. If he reported a false alarm, he could get demoted or even court-martialed. But still, something didn't feel right. There was just one problem. No one else agreed with him. All of his superiors thought it really was an American attack. And with each passing minute, they were preparing for retaliation. Petrov tried to argue with them, but no one listened. Finally, he was ordered to give the command to fire. Petrov refused. He knew that if he did, he'd be launching a nuclear apocalypse. So he made a decision. He decided to disobey the order on his own. He assessed the situation and determined that it was a false alarm. He knew that there was no way that America could launch 5 missiles in the time it took them to report it. Plus, other Soviet sensors were picking up unusual readings, which suggested that the missiles hadn't left the atmosphere. They were probably just decoys. In the end, he proved to be right. The Americans hadn't launched any missiles. It was a false alarm. The whole world could have ended. And while we don't know it for sure, it was likely due to a software bug. When the bug was discovered, a major investigation ensued. Petrov was celebrated as a hero who'd saved the world, but he never received any official recognition. His superiors had already covered up the incident, and Petrov had been punished for reporting a false alarm. It was only in 1998 that the Russian government finally acknowledged what he'd done and gave him a medal. It was too late for Petrov. He died of a heart attack in 2001, but his story has lived on. Many believe that he prevented a nuclear war by thinking critically and going against the grain. But what do you think? Was he right to disobey his superiors? Would you have done the same? Let me know in the comments. And hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.